Hey guys, this is Omer from MMOs.com, and I'm doing another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements of the week ending April 18th, 2016. This is episode number 39 of the recap, and the first bit of news this week comes from Nexon. After 2 months of silence, Nexon announced that Riders of Icarus will be returning for a second round of closed beta testing starting April 21st up until April 28th. Kinda weird that they waited 2 months to announce this. I never got a chance to play the first round of closed beta testing, and even if I got into the second round, I still can't make a first look video because it is under NDA. I do want to say though, the game does look different because it features both land and aerial combat. There's still no release schedule just yet, but now that the second round of closed beta testing is starting, hopefully it should be soon. Up next, some pretty good news for Soul Worker Online. We did talk about the game last week, launching in Japan, but now there is an official North American publisher, and it's going to be Gameforge. So the game is definitely coming to the West, and again, through Gameforge. Now, oddly, this hasn't been announced by Gameforge just yet. However, if you go to the developer's website, you'll see that Gameforge is listed as a business partner for the game, and Gameforge actually purchased the domains soulworker.com, as well as soulworker.de, and a few other domain names. Unfortunately, we don't know for sure whether the game will be available to North American audiences or just European audiences, because Gameforge is a European company, but they have published games worldwide before. I do suspect though it'll be available in English, and we should be able to play it no problem from North America, but we'll have to wait till official word comes from Gameforge. And I said this before and I'll say it again, I do think Soul Worker actually looks really gorgeous. It's got that really cool anime aesthetic to it, but we'll see what it looks like when I actually get my hands on it and we check it out. And unfortunately there is no timetable for that just yet. Moving right along, we have another new game announcement this week. This time it's a game called Revelation Online. Now, Revelation Online is officially coming to the West, and this has been confirmed, and it'll be through an unannounced Russian publisher. For those that haven't heard of Revelation Online, which I suspect is most of you, it is a game developed by the Chinese game developer NetEase, and it originally launched into open beta in China in mid-2015, so the gap between its Chinese and Western release date is looking to be pretty good, about a year or so. It does look to be a very traditional looking 3D fantasy MMORPG, but the game's one key feature, at least the ones they advertised before, is that players will be able to fly freely throughout the game world, starting at level 30. We do know it's coming to the West, but there is no timetable for a Western release just yet, so we'll have to wait for more information. And unfortunately, the video in the background gives us almost no information on the actual game, just some silly cutscenes. Up next, we have some industry news regarding Nexon and a company called Nat Games. The news is that Nexon actually purchased a stake in Nat Games, increasing their stake to 22.4%. Nat Games is the company that makes a game called Heroes or Incredible Tales, or just HIT for short. The game launched in South Korea in late 2015 and has been doing really well there. In fact, the game's been doing so well regionally that it's been #1 on both iOS as well as Android app stores. Now, Nat Games, the studio itself, is headed by a guy named Yoon Hyun Park. He's best known for work on Lineage as well as Tera. So the game's doing really well over there, but now we will see a global launch later this year. And given that Nexon invested in them, they will likely be the publisher worldwide. And for a mobile game, the graphics do look quite good. Looking forward to trying it myself soon. Next up, Black Desert Online is getting 2 new classes on April 20th, the Musa and Meiwa. The video in the background you're seeing right now is the official trailer for Musa. This update comes a little bit less than a month after the previous major update called the Medaya update, which launched on March 30th. So DOM has been on the ball with regular updates since their release. And remember, DOM sold over 400,000 copies of Black Desert Online already, and the game is off to an excellent start. I still do think the game is going to go free to play at some point, but that's just my speculation. The 2 new classes will be playable on the Twitches this Wednesday. And remember, despite it being 2 separate classes, it's basically the male and female version of the same class. They do have some minor variations though. The Meiwa is actually better for one-on-one combat, and there are some other minor variations. Next up, to celebrate Tera's next major content update called Secrets and Shadows, which is set to launch next month, sometime in May. Tera is hosting an event where players can win ninja-themed items in-game. 3 lucky players will also win a real-life Elin Ninja statue. Now look how cool that looks. I totally want one of those. Aside from those, players can also win 2 other real-world prizes, namely a collector's edition game box, as well as a poster signed by the In-Mass team. But come on, we all want the Elin statue, right? Come on, that's the real prize right there. And again, this whole event is just to celebrate the upcoming launch of the Secrets and Shadows update, which is launching sometime in May. Up next, Blade & Soul's 2.1 update, Shattered Empire, is set to launch on April 27th, which will expand Mushin's Tower, introduce 2 new dungeons to the game, and an entirely new PvP mode. The new PvP mode is a 6v6 objective-based PvP game mode called Whirlwind Valley. No details on that just yet, but being objective-based will help mix things up. And I'm not gonna lie, Blade & Soul has been pretty on the ball with updates since their Western launch as well, but that shouldn't be too surprising because the game is years late to the North American market, so they had tons of time to prep for this, but they're doing a pretty good job. Next up, pretty big news for Mabinogi fans. Mabinogi receives its first major story update since December of 2014. The update is called Generation 20 Gate of Sanctuary. It went live last week, and introduces some new divine skills to the game, as well as new cash shop items, as well as some new maps, and a bunch of other goodies. Now, Mabinogi is a game that I have never really gotten into myself, but I do know it's a game that a lot of people hold close in their hearts. I know Shu has played this a lot in the past. I know I have other friends that have played it as well, so it's always good to see an older game get a nice update, and it's been quite some time, so Mabinogi definitely deserved an update. And hopefully fans don't have to wait over a year for the next update, but we'll see. Up next, after nearly 2 years in early access, Deadbreed has officially launched this week. It's a free-to-play gothic RPG online battle arena, and yes, that sounds like a mouthful. I don't know exactly what kind of game it is, but I do plan on giving it a try and expect the first look for it relatively soon. The game did get mixed reviews on Steam though, so we'll see how it holds up. Up next, some news about Atlas Reactor. The game actually entered closed beta this week, so the game was open alpha before, but now it's closed beta, so if you want to continue playing Atlas Reactor, you do have to pay up for a Founders Pack, or you can sign up for the closed beta and hopefully get lucky. They did introduce a new champion, Ellie, to the game, or L, not sure how to pronounce that, as well as a new feature called Seasons, which is available level 10 and introduces some story content to the game, so chapters of story content. So I guess those are just basically PvE missions, that's what it sounds like. And even though we're in closed beta right now, there is no word on when the official launch is set to be, so we do have to wait for that. Up next, some more news from Tryon Worlds. This time, Rift celebrates its 5th anniversary with update 3.6, which introduces 5 new souls and multi-core support to the game. Players can also now receive daily rewards for logging in via the daily rewards calendar. Also, patrons will receive patron-exclusive quests that grant quote-unquote awesome rewards when completed. I expect all quest rewards should be awesome, but I guess only patrons get awesome rewards. But yeah, this is the 5th anniversary update for the game, and it's hard to think. Rift has been around for 5 years now. It's actually kind of an older game now, but I remember when it first launched. It's been a while. I mean, Rift has still been going fairly strong despite all the controversy surrounding it. Up next, some more industry news, this time regarding Tencent, China's biggest game publisher. They have extended their contract with Nexon to keep publishing Dungeon Fighter Online in China, and this is important and worth mentioning because Dungeon Fighter Online is their 3rd highest grossing PC game of 2015, so the game makes a lot of money. It makes more money than World of Warcraft. It's the highest grossing MMORPG in the world, and it's really been killing it in China. I mean, it's really popular in China, it does okay elsewhere, but most of the money comes from China. So Tencent will keep publishing the game for the next 10 years at the minimum. The next and last bit of news this week, guys, comes from Epic Games regarding their MOBA, Paragon. The news is that they released a new hero, Iggy and Scorch, a new duo character for the game. And even though the game is in early access, it's been in early access for some time now, and I do want to mention it because the game has been doing quite well. I know I made a prediction about the game being a flop, but so far the game is going quite strong. I haven't played it yet myself. I do plan on buying it, so do expect a first look video relatively soon. But yeah, that's it for MMO news this week, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Later.